Morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out to Thursday morning, 8:15 Vinyasa Yoga. I'm Tom. I'm subbing for Leo today. I also teach on Tuesdays, and announcement is we're going to be moving the Tuesday class from being in the studio out here as well. So come on out on Tuesday mornings. I'll be here every Tuesday. Weather's beautiful as always here in beautiful Palm Springs. As always, please make sure you visit urbanyoga.org to get all the latest updates on our scheduling for classes in person at the park Thursdays through Sundays and now on Tuesdays. As well, check out all our YouTube classes that we have. And as always, make sure you visit that virtual tip jar to keep our yoga community going strong. So great to see all your faces out here this morning. Last week we were out here and we were working through some balance postures and really trying to talk about ways to make balance a little bit more accessible to us. And so we're going to build on that and add a little bit more in terms of balancing. We're going to do some back bends today. So for back bends, the way we make back bends more accessible to our bodies is to really focus on the front of the body and open up the front of the body, which enables us to get deeper into our back bends. So opening up through our shoulders and chest, the ribs and core, thighs and everything. So we're going to do a lot of opening of the front body, and then we'll work up to some peak poses, maybe some dancers and bow pose and that. So we'll get into some deep back bends this morning. All right, so let's get started. We'll start on our backs, and we'll get right into starting to warm up the front of the body. So just make your way onto your back. Let me turn this way. And just bring your feet out to the edges of the mat. Let the knees fall into each other. And we'll just begin here, as always, with the breath. And I'm just going to sit up so I can project a little bit better. So just begin to cultivate that mind-body breath connection. Begin to deepen the breath, lengthening our inhalations to a count of 4 or 5. Filling up the entire core, so really drawing that breath into the side ribs, the spaces in between the ribs, feeling that expansion. And then lengthening that exhalation to a count of 4 or 5. Beginning to sink in, grounding down, feeling that support and that connection to the Mother Earth. And gently just continue with the breath as you make that conscious transition from being the doer in life to the observer in the moment. Just doing a full body scan, what's coming up for you this morning. Checking in with any areas of tightness or tension. Releasing any areas of tension, maybe through the face, around the eyes, through the jaw. Soften the throat. Soften the heart space, the collarbones. Keep that breath going strong as it gets a little deeper, filling up through the belly. Drawing that breath into the backside of the body, into the kidneys, bringing in fresh oxygen, blood flow. As always, I just like to remind you that you are the ultimate guru in your practice. I'm here to guide you, but do what you need to for your body this morning. Rest when you need to. Take a child's pose, whatever resting pose feels good. Push yourself if you like to. Let's just be here for a few more cleansing deep breaths. Deep breath in, fill up. You can open the mouth, let it all go. If your eyes are closed, gently blink the eyes open. And as I said, we're just going to begin with warming up the body. So go ahead and bring the heels in close to the bum here. So draw the heels back towards the glutes. We're just going to begin with some gentle bridge poses here, waking up. So go ahead and place the palms down, press down through the forearms, root down through those heels, and then gently just begin to lift up the hips. As you lift up the hips, squeeze the thighs together almost as if you have a block. That's going to fire up the belly and fire up the glutes. Take a deep inhale here. Push up a little bit more. Exhale, go ahead and drop the hips down. Do that a few times, working with the breath. Inhale, lifting up, squeezing in. If you want, you can add the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower down. Do that a few more times. Inhale, lifting up. Squeeze those thighs. Focus on the front of the body. The ribs are going to want to sort of pop up, so kind of zip the ribs down and in. Exhale, lower down. One more. Inhale, lift up. Push into those heels. Exhale, lower it back down. We'll go ahead and draw the knees in towards the chest. Thighs in towards those ribs. Draw the tailbone down. Squeeze everything in. Maybe a little rock side to side, just massaging the low back, waking it up. And then we'll go ahead and flex our heels up to the sky, almost as if we were standing on the ceiling. So really push through those heels as you lengthen through the hamstrings. You can have your hands on the backs of the thighs, adding a little bit of support here. Let's go ahead and lower that right leg down, but keep it active. So push through that heel on the right side. And then inhale those arms back up overhead. So think of it as you're almost doing a standing balancing pose, but we're doing it with the support of the biggest prop that there is, the earth. So push through that right heel, push through that left heel, engage the belly, maybe float the arms up. Breathe. And maybe you'll pulse that right foot a few times, just a little bit off the ground, waking up the belly a little bit more. All right, let's go ahead and release that. Draw the knees back into the chest. Give them a nice squeeze. Draw that tailbone down. Inhale here, exhale, legs back up. And we'll switch sides. So we'll drop that left leg down, keeping that foot active. So push through that heel and draw those toes back to the knee. Flex that right foot like you're standing on the ceiling, and then maybe inhale those arms up overhead. Keep that belly engaged and those lower ribs sort of zipped in and tucked in. And then maybe pulse that right leg just a few times, just an inch or two off the ground. Firing up that core. And let's go ahead and release. Let's bring the feet together, heels together. So we're in Supta Baddha Konasana, so draw the heels in towards the pelvis. Open up the knees. Breathe into that hip space. Just take a few more deep breaths in here. Let it all go. Go ahead and close the knees back up. Make your way up to a tabletop any way that feels good. You can roll along the spine. You can just roll yourself on over. Up and over the knees, and we'll get ourselves set up in the tabletop. So take a moment to get yourself set up. If you need a little extra padding, go ahead and place your blanket out in front of you. Let's just set ourselves up with our shoulders directly over our wrists, hips directly over our knees. Let's tap the tops of the feet, which are our anchors, wake those up. All right, feeling nice and good here. We'll go ahead, work through some cat-cow. So we'll drop that belly down, broaden across the shoulder blades, keep those shoulders away from the ears, push into the tops of those feet, look up, keep that tailbone up, big breath in, exhale, push that floor away, push the hips forward and bring our gaze in towards the belly. Work with your breath, moving through cat-cow, maybe adding on any other movements that are feeling good this morning, maybe a little hip sway side to side, look over each shoulder. Do some nice spinal flexion this morning. Feel that sun on your face. All right, come back to center. Let's go ahead and just stretch out the wrists here. So go ahead and invert the fingertips back towards you. And then as much as you want, you can push down through the heel of that palm and then lean back, and you'll get a nice stretch in that forearm there. And we'll take that to the other hand. Go ahead and flip the palm over so the top of the hand is on the mat. And same thing, as much as you want, as you lean back, you'll get a little bit more stretch through the top of that arm this time. You can also have toes tucked and getting a little foot stretch at the same time. Do both sides here. And we'll go ahead and release, come back to center. So as I mentioned, we're going to work through stretching that front of the body. Let's work through the shoulders. So let's bring that right hand right in front of the face. We're going to inhale that left arm up to the sky, open those shoulders. Exhale, we'll send it down, drop down, and go ahead and use that right arm as leverage. Bring it around to the sacrum there to open up and breathe into the right side rib cage. Let's take one more deep breath in. Place that right hand back in front of the face if you need to. Inhale it back up. Let's do some circles with that wrist. Shake it out. Wave to the parade. Place that back down. All right, let's take it over to the other side. Place that left hand in front of the face. Inhale, draw it up. Exhale, send you down. Sink in. Use that left hand for a little leverage on the back there. And really open up through that left shoulder. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Sink in a little bit more. Gently start to unwind. Place that left hand in front of the face. We'll open it back up. Circle it out. And we'll take it back to center. All right, we're going to come up here into hero's pose, or thunderbolt. So options here. So for heroes, then you want your bum to actually be between the feet. You can have it up on a block as well. If that's a little too difficult for you, you can tuck the toes and be directly up on your heels in thunderbolt. So what we're aiming to do here is beginning to open up that front of the body, stretch through the tops of the thighs and the quads. I'm going to go with a block. So bring those knees together. Lengthen that spine, drop down through the tailbone, lift up through the heart and the crown of the head. Let's inhale, lift up, look up, reach up. Those ribs are going to want to pop open, kind of zip them down. Big breath in here. Exhale, we're going to take a gentle twist. So we're going to take that right hand across the thigh, roll that left shoulder back behind you. Look over that shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist a little deeper. We'll go ahead and unwind. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the other side. Roll that right shoulder back. One more big breath in. Exhale, we'll go ahead and release. All right, so just wherever you're at, take a moment here and we're just going to stretch through those quads. So roll those shoulders back, and if you can, just lift up through the knees. So you're going to get a nice stretch through the top of the feet, top of the shins, stretching through the front of the body. That might be a little intense. You can drop back down, whatever feels good here. Just getting it, waking it up. We'll go ahead and roll on over. Bring the feet back behind you. Let's push up into a plank pose. Draw that belly button into the back of the spine and push the floor away. Big inhale here. Exhale, let's push it back to our first downward dog. As always, ease into your down dog by walking out through the feet, bending each leg one at a time, dropping down a heel, popping the other one up. Set yourself up by spreading the fingertips nice and wide. You get to walk in a little bit so you can get your heels down as you lift your tail up. Roll those triceps in towards the ears, zipping up that energy into the center line of the body. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Sink through the heels a little deeper. Big breath in. As we exhale, we're going to begin to just slowly walk forward, stretching through the back of the calves, bringing yourself up to the front of the mat. As we get where we're going, we're going to inhale, halfway lift. Shoot the crown of the head forward as you push the thighs back. Keep those shoulders away from the ears, broaden through the clavicles. Big breath in. Exhale, go ahead and melt forward. You can bend and straighten those legs, getting those hamstrings warmed up and woken up. Let the crown of the head be heavy. Go ahead and grab for elbows, and we'll just hang here and sway, releasing through the back. Shake the head yes and no. A little side to side. All right, let's go ahead and inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink in one more time. And then actively draw that energy up through the legs, through the heels, through the calves, into the knees, up through the core. Let's lift up, look up. Root down through those heels, shoot those fingertips out to the sky, and then go ahead and bring palms into heart center. All right, let's get a little shakeout. Starting to feel warmed up, feeling good here. All right, let's sit down into Utkatasana chair pose. So squeeze those knees together, like as if you had a block in between it. Sit back in your chair, open up through the heart. Breathe. Big inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Step that right leg back and we'll come into a low lunge here. So set yourself up, build your foundation. So we got that knee lined up right over that ankle. Lengthen through that back leg. The top of that back foot is our anchor here. Drop down through that tail. Inhale, let's lift up. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward, straighten that front leg, tuck the back toe, and then drop the hips back, stretching through that hamstring. Reach forward with the crown of the head and then drop it in a little deeper, lengthen. Let's come back up, untuck that back toe, palms back to heart center. And then we'll just go ahead and inhale and open that arm back behind you. So kind of a nice open twist here. As we said, we're working through that front of the body, getting everything opened up, preparing for some deeper back bending. All right, let's bring palm back to heart center. Drop it on down. Step back to your plank. And then go ahead and lower all the way down to our bellies. Untuck the toes. We're gonna come into Sphinx pose. So our first back bend of the day. Take a moment, get yourself set up. And work back through those hips a little bit here. This is an active pose, so we want that belly pulled up off the mat. Press down to the tops of those feet. Feel that lower back begin to fire up. Press down through the palms and you're pulling that heart space through the shoulders. Big breath in. Exhale, look over left shoulder. Back to center. Other side. And back to center. Big breath in. Exhale, bring the palms underneath the shoulders, push yourself up to plank tabletop, and make your way back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Deep breath in. As you exhale, step, hop, float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink in. Take your time through your transitions. Inhale, draw that energy up through the body. Lift up, look up. Back to heart center, we'll seal that pose. All right, let's take a moment here. Roll the shoulders back. If you want to, a little bit more, you can add the bind here by interlacing palms together. Open up through the heart space. Push the knuckles down. Big inhale here. Exhale, hinge at the hips, sink in. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Really focusing on the shoulders here and opening up the front of the shoulders. One more breath in. Exhale, let it go. Use your core strength. Bring yourself back up. Inhale, up. Exhale, we'll sink in, chair pose. Let's bring palms to heart center. Inhale, we'll peel that left arm back and open up. Back to center. Take that to the other side. Draw the bow back behind you. Inhale forward. Exhale, sink in. Step the left leg back. We're coming into low lunge, other side. Take a moment here. Let's get our foundation set up. Palms to heart center. Drop that tail. Lift that crown. Shoot those arms up. A little back bend here. Palms back in. And we'll shoot that left arm forward. Draw that right arm back behind us. Woo. That back foot really becomes your anchor. Kind of a balancing little back bend here. All right, let's go ahead and release it. Oh, we forgot to do the leg. We'll go ahead and stretch through that front hamstring. Johnny would have caught me. He would have told me. Would he? All right, let's go ahead and release there. Plant those palms firmly down, press the floor away, step it back into your plank. Big inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Take your back bend of choice. You can go back down to that sphinx. You can be an up dog, cobra, whatever's feeling good. Starting to get nice and warmed up. Big inhale. Exhale, let's take it back, downward facing dog. Big inhale here. Cleansing breath out. Let it go. Inhale. Exhale, step, hop, or float forward. We'll halfway lift. Exhale, sink in deep. Draw the energy up through the body. Shoot it out through the fingertips. And palms together, we'll seal the pose. All right, take a little sip of water or beverage of choice if you need it. All right, we'll kind of work back through that second time through. All right, inhale here. Exhale, sink down our chair pose. Draw the bow back behind us. Bring it back forward. Draw the bow back behind us. Bring it back forward. Exhale, sink in. We'll go ahead and step that right foot back, drop the heel, and we're gonna come into warrior two. Switch sides so you guys can see me a little bit better. So take our time, get our foundation set up. We got our heel to arch alignment. Roll the shoulders open, lift the palms up to the sky. So as we open up through the shoulders, then we'll sink down into the pose a little bit more. Keep that firm connection to the back edge of the foot as our anchor and the big toe on the front. We'll inhale, reverse that warrior. Drop that palm down. And reach up and over as you breathe into that left side of the rib cage. Let's go ahead and release back to our warrior two. Let's take it to extended side angle. Options here with the arm. You can have that elbow on the knee, but really take that right shoulder and roll that right shoulder back and open. So you lift it up and over. Make sure you're not sinking into that front shoulder, so you have some nice space between that shoulder and the head through the neck. Go ahead and bring it back to warrior two, straighten that front leg, and we'll work into Trikonasana triangle. So take a dip in that hip as you lift up through that right hip, reach forward, and then go ahead and stack those shoulders up. Check in with the belly, draw it back to the spine, and as always, keep that breath flowing. One more breath. Use that core strength to bring yourself back up. Exhale, we're gonna sink down, step all the way back to plank, and work through your vinyasa of choice. Knees, chest, chin. Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra, up dog. Take your time. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Take the left leg up, send it forward. That's the wrong leg. We're going to jump switch. Yeah, right forward, right? All right, and then go ahead and open yourself up to warrior two. I'm going to switch around. All right, take a moment here, get yourself set up, build that foundation. Roll the shoulders open, shoot those fingertips out, and then go ahead and sink in. So even as we sink in, we're pulling the energy up through the pelvic floor, squeezing the thighs together, and then sinking in a little deeper. Inhale, reverse warrior. Breathe into that space in between the ribs on the right side. Nice little breeze coming in here. We'll release, take it into extended side angle. If you have a hard time getting that left arm up and over, sometimes it helps to actually bring it in front of you and then reach it over. Get kind of caught on that little hinge in the shoulder joint. All right, press into those feet, use that core strength to bring yourself back up. Straighten that leg, dip that front hip as you lift the back one, reach it forward, and rotate and stack and open the shoulders. Let's take one more deep breath here. Go ahead and release, draw yourself back up. One more time, sink into warrior two. Deep breath in, exhale, windmill the hands down. This time we're gonna step back into plank. Then go ahead and lower all the way back down to that belly. All right, so take a moment here. Wiggle the hips back and forth. We're just going to work through some bow poses here, which will actually continue to warm us up as we're working towards that dancer's pose here. So just take a moment, get set up through those hips nice and firm, draw the elbows forward so we're back to Sphinx here. And then go ahead and take that right hand and make that forearm perpendicular to the mat in front of you. And then we're going to bend that left leg and go ahead and reach back forward and draw that heel in towards the glutes. We're stretching through that quad, front of the thigh, and then looking over that left shoulder. Make sure you're not sinking into that front shoulder, so make sure you're pressing up through that forearm. One more big breath in. Let's go ahead and let that go. Bring ourselves back to center and just untuck everything here and just bring the palms back, fingertips back towards the heel. Just take a breath. And we'll set ourselves up for the other side. So that left forearm perpendicular to the mat. Push into that shoulder. Go ahead and flex that back heel towards you. And then begin to squeeze that heel in towards the glute as much as possible. One more breath. Let's go ahead and let that go. Begin to push yourself up. We'll make our way back into child's pose. So bring those toes to touch. Let those knees go wide. Push those hips back toward the heel as you walk the palms forward and sink the heart down. Focus your energy on stretching through the front of the chest here. So maybe you tent the fingers up and then sink the elbows down and gives you a little bit more stretch in the chest. One more big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. Begin to walk the palms back in. Go ahead and roll over and we'll make our way back up to downward facing dog. Paddle out your dog. Sink those heels. Maybe they go down a little bit further than when we started. Deep breath in. Exhale. Step, hop, or float forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Push those thighs back. Shoot the crown forward. Exhale, fold in deep. Inhale, draw the energy up through the body. Shoot those fingertips out and up. Palms to heart center. And we'll seal the pose. Let it all go. Give it a little shake out. All right, let's do a little time check. Hard to see what I'm doing here. Oh yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. All right, let's get in some balancing standing. So I think let's just do a little tree and then I think we'll be feeling nice and stable. Front of the body's feeling really good. We'll get into our dancer's pose here. All right, so we pretty much all know where we're going in tree pose. Go ahead and just roll the shoulders back and down. Take a mountain first, so shoot those fingertips out. Root down through the heels as you lift up through that crown. So close the eyes here for a minute. Listen to the air flowing through the trees. Begin to tune into our surroundings. Tuning into the breath and the present moment. All other distractions just seem to dissipate and float away. All right, we'll go ahead and root down into that right foot. Take your version of tree pose, so you can have that heel against your calf. You can bring it up to the thigh. You can also bring it up into the hip crease here. Options. So go ahead, root down to that heel as you lift up and lengthen through the spine. Add the arms on. whatever feels good. Keep your gaze or your drishti soft and focused on something that's not moving. Explore the fingertips and the arms, whatever feels good here. If you want a little bit more, add the gaze and lift up. Woo. Wobble, fall, get back into it. Let's hold here for one more breath. Draw the palms back in. Take our time as you extend that leg out, drop it down, shake it all out. All right. We'll take that over to the other side. Spread all 10 toes nice and wide. Down through that right heel, left heel. And then begin to draw that knee up as you open the hip, placing that foot wherever is best suited for you. And then build that foundation as you extend up and out. So we talked about this last week. Our balancing poses really, even like handstand, it's not about shoulders and hands and arms, it's really about core, right? Our tree is only as strong as the trunk. Our core is not just our belly, but it's a 360-degree cylinder. So the sides of the ribs, the back, strengthening all the way around to build that strong foundation. Add the gaze if you'd like here. Bring the palms back into heart center. Take your time, gently come out of it. All right, great job, everybody. Everyone feeling strong, stable. Front of the body should be feeling nice and open. All right, so we're gonna play around with some I think I said that right. Probably not, but. Okay, so pretty much what we were doing when we were on our belly there in that Sphinx pose, we're working with those same properties here. So really think about opening through the front of the body, not just crunching through the back here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is root down through that right foot. We're just gonna bend that knee, the left knee, and then we're gonna go ahead and bring the left arm out to the side, and we're grabbing for the inside, for the inside of that foot. Sorry, let me do that again. Reaching around and grabbing for the inside of that foot. So think about squeezing the thighs together almost as if you had a block in between it. And then extending that right arm up overhead. Squeeze the thighs together as you reach forward and then begin to hinge and lift. Kicking that back heel up into that hand. And bend that front knee as much as you need to get a little bit more lift in that back leg. If you wobble, you'll fall out of it, no big deal. But you can see why we really worked on the front of the body here. Some beautiful dancers out here. And yeah, if that's too much, your dancer could just be right here, right? You can also play around with that by just keeping the palm into heart center and then reaching it forward. So go ahead and get out of that, shake it all out. We'll work through that on the other side. So firm down through the heels. Go ahead and bend that back knee. Reach around and reach for the inside of that foot. It's going to help keep that thigh kind of squeezed in so it doesn't open up as we root back. Shoot that left arm up, lengthen the spine, and then begin to squeeze the thighs together as you reach forward and begin to kick up through that backhand. Bend the knee, gives you a little bit more lift so you're not focused on that front hamstring. Breathe, smile. Gently make your way up and out of it. Let it all go. Shake it all out. All right. Great job, everybody. Let's inhale up. Exhale, let's hinge forward. Halfway lift. Exhale down. Step back to our plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way down. Let's come back to Sphinx. Shimmy a little bit side to side here. So we're gonna make our way into bow pose. We're gonna done a lot of warm up through the front side of that body. Dancers, so we should have a lot of muscle memory going on here as we work into this. So we're gonna go ahead and lower down, roll the shoulders back, so creating space through the front of the body, as we said. And then we'll go ahead and bend the feet, or bend the leg. And then as you roll those shoulders back, see if you can get a hold of those ankles. If you can't, just go ahead, squeeze the fingertips back as much as you can, so if you can get a hold. And then go ahead and roll up, kind of shimmy back and forth on those hips, get a little bit more space in that front of the body. And then use that breath to lift yourself up, squeeze those thighs together. Big breath in, breath out. Exhale, let's go ahead and let it go. Bring palms back to center. Push ourselves all the way back to a child's pose. Should feel really, really good here. Nice counter pose to those back bends. Go ahead and push yourself on up. So let's come into a camel pose here. We'll work through that one last back bend. So options here in camel. You want to go ahead and tuck the toes. Bring yourself up where you're lining those hips directly up over those knees. You can have your block back behind you. A lot of people don't like camel pose. This one right here. But really, you can do it to whatever degree is comfortable for you, right? So all we're trying to do is open up that front of the body as we get set up for that back bend. So roll the shoulders back. Go ahead and sort of act like you're tucking your hands into your pockets here, and you're supporting them across that low back sternum. So push the thighs forward, push the pelvis forward, lift up, look up, and this may be your camel, right? All we're trying to do is get that back bend through opening front of the body here. If you want to add on, maybe you inhale that arm up and it slowly drops back to your block or the heel if you can get a hold of it. Maybe you bring that other arm up. I like to kind of work through camel one arm, one shoulder at a time. Just get a little bit more opening. Go ahead and bring that arm back for support. Switch arms. Bring that arm down, bring it back behind you. Always want to make sure you have that support as you come back up. We'll go ahead and just drop the head forward. Just a quick counter pose here before we come into full camel. Breathe into the kidneys and that low back, let it release. All right, push yourself back up. Set your foundation nice and strong. Roll the shoulders back, tuck the hands into the pockets here. And this might be your camel. You can do the one side or the other. This might be it for you. If you want to add on, go ahead and drop one arm back to the heel. Maybe the other comes back. Reach up through the chest. Open up the throat. You push those hips forward. Before you start to come up, bring the hands to the back for support. Gently bring yourself back up. If you have any props behind you, go ahead and let those go. And we'll take a nice wide child's pose. Should feel really, really good right now. Nice counter. Shimmy those hips back towards the heels. You drop down through the chest. right. Take your time, make your way up and out of that. We'll go ahead and swing our leg around to the front of the mat. If you have a blanket nearby and you want to use that for a little added lift, we're going to be coming into staff pose, Dandasana. Sit up on the edge of that blanket. And we're going to just work through some forward folds here, some great counter postures to those back bends that we've been working on. All right, so push through those heels, draw those toes back towards the knees, roll shoulders back. I like to sometimes even just lift up through my hips and then place them back down, getting in front of those sit bones. If you're sitting back like this and you're rounding that spine, you're not folding forward at all. So we want to be in front of those sitting bones, out in front. Inhale up, exhale, reach forward, reach with the crown of the head, and then grab for whatever you can get a hold of. Maybe it's the feet, maybe it's the calves or the tops of the thighs. You should feel really, really good right now. Just the opposite of those back bends we've been doing. Gently release that, make your way back up. We're going to take that left leg. We're going to go ahead and cross that heel right over that thigh. We're going to take the other ankle in. We can sit up nice and tall. Drop down through the tail, lengthen up through the crown. We're going to inhale up. Exhale, we'll take a twist. We'll go ahead and wrap that arm around. Roll that left shoulder back behind you. Sit up nice and tall. And in any twist pose, we always want to twist from the base of the spine up through the shoulders, add the crown of the head last. One more breath here. Let's go ahead and gently release that. Extend the leg back out in front of you, the right leg, and we're going to bring that left heel to the inside of that thigh. Keep that front foot nice and active, pushing through that heel, drawing those toes back. Inhale, we're going to lift up. We're going to rotate. We want that sternum right over that leg. Exhale, sink in. If you want a little bit more, you can grab that left hand, reach for the outer edge of that foot, and take a little bit of a twist here as we fold. One more breath. Gently let it go. Inhale, back up. Keep that foot flexed. Exhale, we're going to twist on back here. We're going to roll to the inside of that foot and just lift the hips up and out. Nice. Little back bend. Front of the body should feel nice and open here. Gently bring yourself down. All right. Keep that foot flexed. We're going to take that forearm on the right side, kind of reach it to the inside. You can also have it on a block if you want. Keep that foot nice and flexed. Draw that bow back that we did earlier, open up through the front of the body, and then take that left arm up, reaching it over. Breathing into the left side. Checking my time. Let's go ahead and gently come up and out of that. Go ahead and bring our heels together. Baddha Konasana, draw the heels in towards the pelvis as much as comfortable. Kind of wiggle back and forth. Get yourself set up. As I said, make sure you're on the front side of those sit bones and not sitting back and curling back. So lift up through the crown and the heart. Big inhale here. Exhale, begin to walk the fingertips forward to whatever degree is comfortable for you. Let's take one more breath in. Gently let that all go. I'm just going to kind of turn a little bit more towards camera here. And we're just going to take all that to the other side. So go ahead and flex through that left foot. Right leg comes up and over. Draw that heel in towards the bum. Get yourself set up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, we twist from the base of the spine. Wrap that arm around it and roll that shoulder back. Give us a little bit more space here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Go ahead and release. All right. Bring that left leg back to being long. Heel comes into the inside. Keep that foot flexed. Draw those toes back. Inhale, lift. Line that sternum right up over that leg. Exhale, sink in. If you want that little added twist, you can reach around and grab for the outside of that foot. All right, let's slowly unwind. Draw yourself back up. Inhale, lift up. Keep that foot flexed. Exhale, we'll take that twist back. And then we'll go ahead and roll down to the inside of that foot and lift those hips up and out. And roll yourself back down. Get your foundation set back up. We'll take that forearm, bring it to the inside of that leg. So it could be thigh if you want to reach it a little bit more forward. Then draw that fold back behind you. Keep that foot flexed. And then go ahead and reach that all up and over as you breathe into that right side of the body. Gently coming up and out of that. Let's go ahead and bring the knees in towards the chest here. Sit up nice and tall. We'll take a boat pose here. So options, you can just squeeze thighs in towards the ribs. And this may be your boat. Go ahead and extend the fingertips out in front of you. If you want a little bit more, maybe you extend one leg out. Maybe two. Keep the shoulders rolled back. Lift that heart up. Maybe play a little bit. Wobble. Squeeze. Hold. Take it all the way down. Maybe hold one more time. And let it all go. Take it on down to the back. All right, let's just take a couple breaths here. Let all that energy settle into the backside of the body. Feel that connection with the earth and support. Bring your feet out to the edges of the mat and let's just kind of windshield wiper the legs, releasing that low back. All right, let's set ourselves up for one final bridge pose or kind of final back bend sequence of the day. So we started out here, bring those heels in towards the glutes. Should definitely feel different from what we started earlier. Roll those shoulders back and down, press into those palms, go ahead and lift up through those hips. Squeeze those thighs together. And the front side of the body should be feeling open now. So if you want to go ahead and roll one shoulder under, bringing those elbows together, Interlacing palms gives you a little bit more space. Squeeze thighs together, lift up through those hips. Big breath into the front of the chest. Exhale brings you all the way down. We'll go ahead and bring those knees in, give a nice squeeze. Drop that tailbone down. And then for our final back bend, we're going to do that bridge one more time. If you want to get into full wheel, go for it. The front side of the body should be feeling nice and open right now. If you've never done wheel before, this might not be the time to do it, but if you're feeling open and you feel like you want to get into it, go ahead. So otherwise, go ahead and work through that bridge. If you want to get into wheel, basically come into a bridge. You bring the palms back behind the shoulders and then work those heels back towards those glutes as you begin to press up and open. Squeeze the thighs together. And wherever you're at, gently come back out of it. Bring the thighs back into the chest, knees together. One final squeeze here. Little rock side to side. We'll go ahead and bring that right leg long. Push through that heel, and we'll take a gentle twist. We'll take that left arm out to the side. Draw that knee across the body. And we want to keep those shoulders down. That's our foundation here. So bring the hip across and the knee across as much as possible, not sacrificing the shoulders coming up off the mat. Let's take one big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Both knees back to center. We'll switch sides. Left leg goes long. Right arm out to a T. Draw that hip across. And then the gaze goes the opposite direction of that leg. All right, let's gently unwind that. Bring the soles of the feet back together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Open up through those hips. And then go ahead and bring soles of the feet up to the sky. Reach for the outer edges and we'll squeeze coming into Balasana, Happy Baby. So drawing the tailbone down and drawing those knees down towards the armpits as you open up through the hips. Keep the feet flexed. Big breath in, maybe a little rock side to side. All right, bring legs together, bring the heels up to the sky, flex the feet. Exhale, let everything fall down. Let the legs open up. Let the feet just open up. So as you open up through the ankles, it'll open up your hips. Now just time to let everything go. Enjoy the yoga buzz we've created. Enjoy the benefits of our practice. Let that energy just settle in the body. Let the heartbeat settle into the chest. Soften the belly. Soften the space around the eyes and through the jaw. Relax the throat. Relax the heart space. down into the pelvis, through the knees, and down in through the legs and the ankles, into the toes and the fingertips. Let's just remain in this last final pose of surrender, serenity, and peace. Allow me to call you back in a few moments when it's time. Let's gently begin to deepen the breath, welcoming sensation back into the body by wiggling fingers and toes or any other small movements, raising eyebrows, open the jaw, moisten the lips. Just remain here for one final moment, taking a full body scan, seeing how you might feel different from when we began. Tuning into sensations around us, sounds, the cool breeze. Truly becoming one with this final moment here before we enter back into our day. Let's take one full body stretch. Go ahead and bring ankles together, arms up overhead. Deep breath in. As you exhale, draw those knees into the chest. Give yourself one final squeeze here. And then go ahead and make your way up to a comfortable seat, any way that feels good for you. Take a moment here to get ourselves set up. Stacking our heart over our hips, our head over our heart, lengthen up through that crown as we root down. Inhale, up, and draw that wonderful energy we created into the heart space. Roll those shoulders back, press into the heart with the thumbs. Lift up through that heart space and sternum. Close the eyes. Thank yourself for taking some moments for just yourself today. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this practice. Namaste. Wonderful to see all your faces out here today. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for allowing me to guide you through your practice. As I mentioned, I'll be teaching Tuesdays out here every Tuesday at 8:15, so please join me. As always, like I said, visit that virtual tip jar, or we have our tip jar here to keep this yoga community going strong in these classes. And everyone have a wonderful day.